Hello, cross-cultural art project students. That's a really long name for a class, and I'm sorry, that's totally my fault. But I am Heidi Tungseth, your art teacher. Good to see you. Actually, you're seeing me, so I hope it's good for you to see me. I would love to see videos of you at any point, so keep that in mind. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our assignment this week, the airport discussion, and hopefully kind of get the ball rolling in that for you. If it's a little confusing, hopefully I'll clear it up a little bit in this video. So my example comes from Mozambique, which is a country in Africa, right there. And it's on the southeastern side of Africa. It borders South Africa. I was there just for a week this summer when I was traveling around a little bit. And when I was on the beach, I bought a batik from an artist there. So this is my batik of a woman dancing with a drum and holding maracas. And a batik is an artwork made out of on fabric with wax and dye. Very similar actually to tie-dye t-shirts if you're used to that, or if you've ever made a tie-dye t-shirt. It's the same idea, but instead of the rubber band resisting the wax, I'm sorry, it's really late. Instead of the rubber band resisting the dye, in this case, it's the wax which is resisting the dye. So the artist just took some fabric. This is kind of a heavier canvas, similar to what an artist would use to stretch on a frame in order to paint. But it's kind of a heavier canvas, and the artist created this image by putting wax in the negative space, so in the background, and then when the artist dipped the whole thing in dye, the resulting image, the positive space, came out. Anywhere there wasn't wax, the dye took to it. And actually, batik artists do this process over and over again with different colors. So they keep covering up the area. They want to keep preserve the color. They usually start with the lightest color first. So this artist would cover everything except for the maraca and this part of the drum, dip it in yellow dye or yellowish gold dye, let it dry, and then cover that part up with wax, and then do the next color, only the Indian red parts, leave open and dip it in Indian red dye, let it dry, cover everything up with wax except for the parts that they want to be black, and so on and so forth. Something I really like about this is, in a lot of batiks actually, you've probably seen this before, this really cool line work in the background that creates this illusion of texture. I love this, and this is created really simply by putting the wax down, letting it cool off or dry, and then taking the whole piece and crumpling it up, which causes the wax to break up, and then the dye can seep into all these little fissure lines and create this really beautiful technique. So speaking of texture, texture is an element of art, along with color, shape, line, form, all of those things. Those are the building blocks for any art piece in visual art. Kind of like in music when you have scales and notes and chords and different dynamics and staccato and legato, all of these things that build up a musical piece, a composition. In art, a composition is created by all of the elements in art. So we've got texture here, or the illusion of texture. We also have line. This piece makes use of really sharp, almost straight diagonal lines. So you can see the diagonal line cutting across in the legs and in the arms. Diagonal lines make an art piece very energetic and very dynamic because your eye travels across the piece, if you're really ADD, travels across the piece from corner to corner. My arm's getting tired. In art, if you have a horizontal line, that makes the piece very grounded, very stable. It's not going anywhere. You set your house on that piece of grass and it's there. It's very stable. Your eye just kind of sits there. And sometimes pieces like that are, some people think they're a little bit boring compositionally. Sometimes it's the effect that you want. Sometimes you want that horizontal line there. But in art, when you use a diagonal line, that automatically energizes the piece more. It throws it off. It's not stable anymore, and your eye kind of travels around. So this use of line, this element of art, creates the principle of art of movement. Your eye moves across the page, and I think it's really fitting for the energy of this piece. It's a dancer who's moving, who's playing to music, so it kind of fits that there's movement in the piece. Another thing I want to talk about real quickly, and then I'll let you go, is the use of color. Color is another element of art, and you can see that this artist primarily used white and black, kind of subdued colors in the background, but then contrasted, another principle of art, contrasted these colors with these bright, vibrant colors of this marigold color and this Indian red in the drum and in the maracas. This contrast of colors also creates an emphasis, which is another principle of art. Your eye automatically goes to the emphasized drum and the maracas. They really stand out. So these are some things I would talk about if I were critiquing my souvenir from Mozambique using the elements and principles of art. So, applause if you want to, you can applaud. So now it's your turn, and you can decide where in the world you want to go. This is your chance to travel anywhere in the world without spending a dime, and you can find an image that captures your interest and start kind of playing around in Google Images. Start looking up, okay, I want to go to Japan, I'm going to look up Japanese art. Oh, there's a lot of paintings. There's a lot of paintings on silk. And start kind of bouncing around in your internet search until you find an art piece that you really like, and you're going to post it in that airport discussion, kind of this show and tell discussion, and then write just a little bit about it, what you found from your internet research. So what is the art piece, where is it from, how is it made, and what kind of cultural significance does it have? Then in your next assignment, this week still, critiquing your artwork using the elements and principles of art, you're going to do what I just